Your brain is amazing, but it has two speeds. One is fast, one is slow. Fast thinking is what you use every day. You cross the street, you answer messages, you pick what to eat, you reply fast in a conversation. It's quick, it saves time, but it also gets tired. Slow thinking is different. It's what you use when you stop and wonder, when you reflect, when you ask, why am I feeling this way? Fast thinking reacts. Slow thinking reflects. Fast thinking can solve a math problem. Slow thinking asks, why do I even care about this result? Both are important, but most of us are stuck in fast mode, and that's the problem. Imagine this. You're running all day, not because you want to, but because everything pushes you. The phone, the news, the world. Your brain keeps running, even when your body is sitting. That's when the anxiety starts. That's when the overthinking begins, because your mind is still in motion. It's like a car engine left on all night. But what happens when you invite your mind to slow down? Not to sleep, just to breathe. When you sit, when you stop reacting, when you look at your thoughts like clouds passing above you, something beautiful happens. You don't lose control, you gain it. So tonight, don't fight your thoughts, don't push them away, just slow them down. Say to your mind, you don't need to be fast right now. You just need to be here. Paul Tillich once said, the first duty of love is to listen. But how can we listen when our minds are always talking? Every day we rush, we scroll, we reply, we react. Everything around us is fast. And somehow this speed became a habit. Even when we're tired, we keep running. But what if the problem is not outside? What if our minds are tired because they never get the chance to pause? Tonight, let's do something different. Let's not try to fix anything. Let's not solve our stress. Let's just slow down. Breathe. Yes, just breathe. You don't need to prove anything in this moment. You don't need to win. You don't need to explain. You're here. You're safe. You're allowed to rest. This podcast is not here to fill your head. It's here to empty it gently, like opening a window in a noisy room just to let the wind come in. So, as you listen, you might forget what I'm saying. That's okay. You don't need to remember. You only need to feel that for once you're allowed to be quiet. Let's begin with a simple thought. The world is fast, but you don't have to be. Noise isn't just sound. Noise is anything that pulls your attention away from peace. Your phone can be noise. A loud thought can be noise. Even silence can feel noisy when your mind is loud. Your brain is like a lake. When there's noise, the water shakes. You can't see what's under. When it's calm, you start to see clearly. But most of us live in constant waves. Ping, buzz, scroll, news, messages, memories, worries, plans. Your brain never stops swimming. That's why it's hard to focus. That's why you feel tired, even when you haven't done much. Noise takes energy, even small noise, especially the invisible kind. Here's the truth. You can't control the world's noise, but you can create moments of quiet. When you wake up, don't check your phone first. When you walk, leave your headphones for a minute. When you breathe, really notice it. These moments don't change the world, but they change your world. A calm mind isn't an empty one. It's a clear one that sees what matters and lets go of what doesn't. Say this to yourself tonight. I'm not afraid of silence, because silence is where I find myself. Have you ever felt guilty for resting? You sit down to breathe, and a voice inside says, you should be doing something. That voice is not always yours. It's a voice the world taught you. The world says, faster is better. Busy means success. Slow people don't achieve much. But here's the truth. Slowness is not laziness. Slowness is awareness. A slow mind sees more. A slow decision lasts longer. A slow answer is often wiser. Think of nature. Does a tree rush to grow? Does the ocean apologize for being still? No, because power doesn't always move fast. Slowness gives your brain time to process, time to feel, time to notice what's real, not just what's urgent. Laziness is avoiding life. Slowness is understanding it. So next time you rest, don't say, I'm doing nothing. Say, I'm giving space for my mind to breathe. That's not laziness. That's intelligence. We often think being kind means saying yes. Yes to helping. Yes to more work. Yes to staying when we want to leave. But sometimes, yes is what burns us out. You don't have to say yes to everything. You don't have to carry every request. Every time you say yes to something small, you're saying no to something big. Your peace, your sleep, your dreams. Saying no is not rude. Saying no is clear. It means, I respect your need, but I respect mine too. Here's a truth we forget. People will be okay if you say no, but your body might not be okay if you never do. When you say no, you protect your time, you protect your focus, you give space to the things that really matter. You're not here to please everyone. You're here to live honestly. So next time, try this. If it costs your peace, if it drains your energy, if it makes your chest feel heavy, it's okay to say, no thank you. That's not rejection, that's self-respect. In a world full of noise, silence feels strange. We turn on music, we scroll, we fill every quiet moment with something. But what if silence is exactly what we need? Silence is not empty. Silence is space. Space for the brain to breathe. Space for thoughts to rise slowly, not forced. Studies show, when your mind is quiet, it starts solving things. Problems feel smaller, ideas become clearer, emotions settle. But silence is uncomfortable at first, because in silence we hear ourselves. We hear our real worries, our real needs, and that's hard. But it's also healing, because once we face what's inside, we stop running. Try this. Next time you feel overwhelmed, don't pick up your phone. Just sit, breathe, listen. You don't need to fight your thoughts. Just let them pass like clouds. In silence, the mind finds order, not by force, but by letting go. So maybe the best advice isn't do more. Maybe it's be quiet for a while. In a world full of noise, silence feels strange. We turn on music, we scroll, we fill every quiet moment with something. But what if silence is exactly what we need? Silence is not empty. Silence is space. Space for the brain to breathe. Space for thoughts to rise slowly, not forced. Studies show When your mind is quiet, it starts solving things. Problems feel smaller, ideas become clearer, emotions settle. But silence is uncomfortable at first, because in silence we hear ourselves. We hear our real worries, our real needs, and that's hard. But it's also healing, because once we face what's inside, we stop running. Try this. Next time you feel overwhelmed, don't pick up your phone. Just sit, breathe, listen. You don't need to fight your thoughts. Just let them pass like clouds. In silence, the mind finds order, not by force, but by letting go. So maybe the best advice isn't do more. Maybe it's be quiet for a while. We live in a world that moves fast. Fast food, fast news, fast replies. Everything must happen now. But your brain, it wasn't made for speed. It was made for depth. Fast thinking is automatic. It helps when crossing a street or choosing what to eat. But for big decisions, fast thinking leads to mistakes. Slow thinking is different. It takes time. It asks questions. It looks deeper. When we think slowly, we ask, is this really true? Why do I believe this? What are the other options? Slow thinking feels heavy at first because it forces us to stop, pause, and reflect, but it gives better answers. In a fast world, slow thinking is power. It protects you from lies, manipulation, and regrets. You don't need to answer every message fast. You don't need to decide your life today. Take your time. Breathe. Think slowly. Because sometimes the fastest way forward is a few slow steps in the right direction. Your mind is like a room, and for many of us it's too full. Thoughts everywhere, noise, worries, plans, no space to breathe. So how do we clean it? Not by escaping, but by choosing. Start with one small thing. Close unused tabs. Leave a group chat. Say no to a task that doesn't matter. These are small actions, but they open space. Then practice mental silence. This doesn't mean empty your brain. It means stop feeding it more. No news, no scrolling, just silence for a few minutes. Next, try a brain dump. Take a paper. Write everything in your mind, what I need to do, what I'm afraid of, what I'm excited for. You don't have to fix it. Just let it out. Finally, choose your focus. When you focus on everything, you feel lost. But when you focus on one thing, you feel peace. Ask yourself, what really matters right now? Then give it your full attention. Mental space is not something you wait for. It's something you create with tiny actions and gentle choices. Because even in a full life, you can still make room for peace. Not every thought deserves your attention. Your brain creates ideas, worries, memories, reminders, opinions, all day long. But most of them are just noise. They come and go. They repeat. They distract. You think about something someone said last week. You imagine 10 problems that haven't happened. You try to plan every second of tomorrow. Your brain is busy. But it's not always useful. So the first step is noticing. Is this thought helping me, or is it just passing through? When you look at a thought like a cloud, you realize you don't have to follow it. You can let it pass. This doesn't mean ignoring everything. It means choosing what matters. Just like you don't open every email, you don't have to believe every thought. Some thoughts are random. Some are old fears. Some are just noise from the world around you. You are not your thoughts. You are the space behind them. And in that space, you can find something rare, Stillness, not emptiness, not boredom, but the calm space where peace begins, where you can breathe and finally rest. We try so hard to manage life, to predict, to plan, to fix, to make sure nothing goes wrong. But life doesn't always follow the plan. People change, feelings shift, events surprise you. Trying to control everything is like trying to hold water in your hands. The tighter you hold it, the faster it slips away. Control feels safe, but it also makes you anxious. Because the moment something happens outside your plan, you feel like you're failing. So what if you didn't need to control? What if you trusted yourself to respond? Not to control the moment, but to meet it with calm. Not to force everything to work, but to be present with what is. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means making peace with what you cannot change and focusing on what you can, like your breath, like your tone, like your next small step. You don't need to hold the whole world together. You just need to be here, fully, gently. And sometimes that's more than enough. The day is over. You did what you could. You said what you said. You made mistakes, maybe. You also did things right, some of which no one even noticed. And now, it's time to let it all go. You don't need to replay every moment. You don't need to fix what's already behind you. You don't need to be perfect before you rest. You are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to let your body relax, your thoughts soften, your heart breathe again. The world can wait. Whatever didn't happen today, it wasn't meant to. Whatever did happen, it belongs to the past now. This moment, right now, is yours, not to solve, not to explain, just to feel. Feel the weight slowly leaving your shoulders. Feel the silence opening around you. Feel your mind loosening its grip. You don't need to hold on. You can release. You can trust. You can rest. Let the day end. Even now, as your eyes close, your mind may still be wandering, jumping from one thought to another. A memory here, a worry there. That's okay. That's what minds do. You don't need to force it to stop. You don't need to fight it. Just follow it, like you're watching clouds drift across the sky. You might notice something strange, how even your anxious thoughts get softer when you stop trying to control them. There's a kind of wisdom in wandering. Your mind is searching for safety, for meaning, for something to hold on to. But here's something to hold. You made it through today. You listened. You breathed. You stayed. That matters. And if your mind keeps moving, let it move. Let it circle and spiral and settle when it's ready, because you're learning slowly to be at peace with your own thoughts. That's not small. That's powerful. And when you're ready for another moment like this, another space to pause, to reflect, to let go, I'll be right here, waiting in the quiet.